There it is. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited. We get to hang out with Jacquelin Thomas on today. And guys, y'all know that Jacquelin is no stranger here to the cafe. We love when she come and hang out with us. And guess what, guys? We're back at Polk Island, her new one, His Carolina Redemption. Oh my goodness, Jackie, I have so much I want to talk about. I'm gonna try to spill the tea, but then we got to save a little bit because the book just came out, so we want them to go out, not walk, but run and get them a copy of His Carolina Redemption. And also, Jacquelin, you're probably aware, Riches and Reading, they do have print copies available. So, guys, we'll be letting you know how you can order through Riches and Reading, and we will also be sharing with you all the other places that you can get Jacquelin's new book, His Carolina Redemption. Well, first of all, Jacquelin, welcome back to the cafe, my friend. And for those who may not know you, you have to do the honors. Introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, well, hello everybody. It's wonderful to be back. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jacqueline Thomas. Hey JB, how are you? Always good to see you. I This is my 103rd book, so it's so wonderful to be able to say that. 103 books in. I would like to think that, yes, the more I write, the better I get. And I really poured my heart into this particular book. So I'm really excited about it. Um, I write romance, of course, women's fiction, and also suspense. I've written young adult fiction. So I've kind of written a little bit of everything. So if you haven't read me, and if you're not into romance, well, there's women's fiction. If you're not into that, there's suspense. So there's a little bit for everybody. So thank you for having
There sure is. There sure is. And not only is there a little bit for everybody as far as like writing across genre, guys. I mean, her backlist, okay, 100 plus books. Of course, you can go to her website. You can check out her backlist there. There are some amazing, amazing stories that you will enjoy as well. But today, guys, not only is Jacquelin just hanging out with us, it's release day. So we are literally celebrating. She is giving us a release day exclusive, hot off the press. You guys get it here at the cafe. And of course, I have to ask, like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we're hanging out with award-winning author Jacquelin Thomas on today. Now, Jacquelin, first of all, we are back at Polk Island. You know that you have some Polk Island fans. We love them there. So thank you for bringing us back into that world, into that universe, and into that space. But I want to talk to you a little bit first about the title. First of all, I'm a Carolina girl, so I love anytime that we can include the Carolinas in our books that we enjoy. But this title, His Carolina Redemption, please tell us about that title, my friend.
Well, to be honest with you, I cannot take credit for it. My editor, Katie, came up with it, and I, fell in love with it when she did. I think my original title was something like "Return to Polk Island Hotel." Something so boring, but she wanted to spice it up a little bit, and I loved it because, again, like you, I'm from Georgia, but I love the Carolinas. You
Mhm.
know, especially, I live in North Carolina, and I love North Carolina, but I also truly love South Carolina. Everything about South Carolina, you know.
I love that. And Kimberly's like, yes, Carolina girls, I love it. I love it. And Jacqueline, I'm like you. First of all, Jacqueline knows. I mean, I love a good cover, but I also love a good title. And when I saw this title, I mean, she had me at the title. And of course, guys, we have to check out this cover as well. Jacqueline, this cover, my friend, I was like, oh, okay. I see it. I see. And guys, if you read the book, you'll definitely understand a little bit about the description and how this title looked. But Jacqueline, what was it for you when you first saw your final cover for His Carolina Redemption?
I felt like Harlequin really listened to me because, as you know, those peach roses mean a lot. And this, I was introducing a new family, and I wanted something distinctive because in the first 4 or 5 books we have the Rothschild family. So this time, and we know that it was their ancestor that founded Polk Island. So I wanted something special for the Worthingtons, and so the roses, the free spirit roses, were the roses that Shane, who is the hero in this book, his father gave his mother on their wedding day, he had a special bouquet made of those roses, and she fell in love. And so she went around looking to get those seeds to plant those free spirit roses. So in front of her house on the, up on the balcony, you see, just imagine yourself driving up and you see all these free spirit, these peachy roses, and they also have like a little raspberry trim. you know I'm actually looking for some myself, because I just fell in love with learning everything about those roses. I didn't just make them up. I actually wanted a real rose, and when I saw them once and fell in love with them, so I actually want them for my house. So they have a special meaning, those free spirit roses, but that's what they're called, free spirit roses. Polk Island, as you know, if I ever have enough money and I can buy an island, we're going to have that Polk Island.
Yes.
We're going to actually have that Polk Island. I love Polk Island. I always tell people when I'm driving through and we get to Charleston, I'm looking to kind of see if I can see Polk Island, because it's supposedly right across the bridge.
Right, right.
You know,
And Jacqueline, you'll have some residents. You will have some residents. I know Mama Tony will be there. I'll have a spot there. Tiffany, Jennifer. I mean, you will have some residents at Polk Island. I love it. I
Yes,
love it
I
as
love it.
well.
It's become so real to me. Like I have my maps of Polk Island, South Beach, North Beach, and the streets, and I love it. It's become so real, and so I love my Polk Island series. I really do.
I love that. I love that. Well, guys, if you're just joining us, we are celebrating with author Jacqueline Thomas on today, guys. She's taking us back to Polk Island, and we have a new family. Of course, we had the Rothschilds, and they make an appearance in here as well. But now it's the Worthington family. And Jacqueline, that leads me into my next question. What was that like for you? Adding this addition and this new family and creating that work, because of course you already had Polk Island, you had the Rothschilds, like you said, you have your maps and things of where things are, but now you're introducing us to a new family that's also a part of this legacy. What was that like for you on the back end as an author?
My world was expanding, and I wanted the island to expand. They were not the only ones. The Duke Prix of Beverly, what is Duke Prix of Charleston?
Yep.
Actually, they have a home on Polk Island as well. They have like a summer home there. So I wanted to bring all of these family members, all of these families that I've created over the years, into this one location. You haven't seen them yet, but they will be coming into town, and that is the Alexanders of Beverly Hills. They're mentioned in here, but
Yes.
to see them again, not necessarily as a prominent focal point for the island, but they will be putting in appearances, because when I create these families, I do, from a psychological standpoint, I do, a psychological profile of my characters. So I know you don't see it all in the books, but I know their favorite colors, their
Wow.
dogs, if they were, the birth order, series, how it's affected them. I know everything about these people, and I have Bibles on these families. So
Wow.
very real for me, and so I don't want them to just die away.
Mhm.
So I love being able to bring them back. And so again, the Alexanders will be putting in an appearance.
I love that. And look, they are giving you love. Kimberly is talking to Mia. She was like, you will love the Charleston references. Yes. You have Jennifer says she loved the Polk Island series as well. And then Kimberly was talking about those flowers, Jackie. She said she have to find them and plant so they
Yes.
can come back every year. I love that. I love that.
You
Guys,
see them, once you see them, you will love
yep.
them. And I tell you, we all can have a club with the free spirit roses. And if you find them, Kimberly, let me know, because I want some too.
I love that. I love that, guys. As you can see, we're having an amazing time celebrating with Jackie, and we haven't even got into the book. We're just talking about the preliminary things around Polk Island. And Jackie, that was one of the things that I enjoyed as well. Guys, if y'all remember Malcolm Alexander, I mean, his name is mentioned, like Jacqueline said. I mean, she spit a little bit of tea. She said, they will be making an appearance maybe later on, or what have you, too. So it's amazing, guys, if you followed Jacqueline through the years and some of her other series, to see them make an interest on Polk Island, or how the families connect. I love that. I love that as well. Now, Jacqueline, we have to talk about, my friend, these characters a little bit. The Worthington family. I mean, first of all, the siblings, okay, and then you have this cousin. We'll say his name in a minute. You have the cousin, as well. But for you, I love how you shared with us how, like, these characters are real to you. Like, you know their favorite color, you know their favorite food, what they like, in and out, and it really come across on the page, and they become real to us. I mean, they're family for us as well. And guys, this is not a spoiler. It happens right at the very beginning, but they're one of their patriarch, the father, he passes away. So of course the legacy of this hotel is moved down to his son. But then we have this cousin that feel like, okay, I feel like we kind of skipped some birthright stuff here, because my dad, is the oldest brother, blah blah blah. Y'all, I don't want to give y'all too much because I want y'all to go get the book. But for you, Jackie, in creating these characters, let's talk about them a little bit. So of course you have the oldest son, which is Shane. Shane. I'll make sure. Wait a minute. Make sure I'm getting my names right.
Is the second oldest.
Shane is right. Shane is the second
Kenyon
oldest, because is it
Kenyon is the
Kenyon?
oldest. Kenyon. And
Kenyon is the
I did
oldest,
that
right?
on purpose. I did that on purpose because a lot of times, even my editor, we had the discussion about that. She
Mhm.
was a bit troubled how the readers would respond to Kenyon being skipped over, not, with him being the eldest, why he didn't inherit the hotel. Well,
Mhm.
as a chef, and he actually absolutely loves being a chef, he did not, excuse me, he did not want that responsibility.
Mhm.
And what I wanted to show was an African American family who was not so consumed with money and status. They believe that you work hard and you earn what
Mhm.
you earn your position.
Yeah.
you know it didn't matter whether you were the sixth son, the fifth son. If you worked and put in the work and you deserved it,
Mhm.
they were okay with it.
Yeah.
To show that not every family thinks like, oh, well, the oldest needs to inherit this, and the oldest, and everything should be equal. No, this was a family that believed you worked hard and you got what you deserved.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
again, with the cousin's dad was the oldest.
Yes.
He was the oldest. He was older than Angus Jr. Angus Jr. was the patriarch of the Worthington family,
Yes.
and he passed away. Well, he put in the work.
Mhm.
Father saw it, and so he, was promoted. He was given the ownership of the hotel, the leadership,
Yeah.
because they're all owners, but the leadership of the hotel.
Right. Mhm. Mhm.
So, people don't really understand that sometimes, but you actually should, why put a son in charge who is a cook to run a hotel? It's not going to work 9 times out of 10 unless he really has that acumen.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And it was not something he wanted. He voted for his brother to be in charge. So I wanted
Yeah.
that this was a family that really believed in each other, and they weren't tied up with who's first, who's second, who's third. They
Mhm.
they just wanted their legacy protected because
Yeah.
the book opens with the hotel being in financial trouble.
Mhm.
And so they need someone who can step in and turn things around because they may have to sell it.
Yeah.
Where Malcolm Alexander comes in because he was interested in buying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Family wanted to keep it because their great grandfather built that
Yeah.
hotel.
Mhm.
Their great grandfather. So this is generations. This is their legacy. And there's a little mystery in there too for those that love a little mystery.
And Jacqueline, I'm so glad that you said mystery, because that leads me into the next segment. Guys, let me just tell you, you get a little mystery, you get a little suspense in here as well. Of course, you get the romance. But Jacqueline, what was that like for you as a writer and as a creator? I was like, oh, okay, she's expanding a little bit. I said her little heartwarmer, she giving us a little mystery and suspense with this heirloom that becomes missing or what have you. For you, was that intentional, just to kind of give us a little wow factor, a little something different?
Well, to give you something a little different, but also because I love suspense.
Mhm.
Everybody knows I love suspense. And, in recent years, I ventured off to writing suspense. And so I wanted to add a little to Poke Island. So I got with my editor, and she was like, perfect. That was
Mhm.
different, something different. And so I am glad that it worked.
It did. It did. I loved it. I loved it as well. And so, Jacqueline, I want for you because Shane is such a pivotal character in this story, and we're going to talk about Ace a little bit too. They kind of come from two different backgrounds, but they end up being kind of like entangled in solving some things and working together as well. But how would you describe Shane's character? And like Jacqueline said, yeah, he's the second. Kenyon is the oldest brother, but he's the next
The
to the
second.
oldest, and the business has been passed down to him. What can you tell us about Shane's character?
Shane has worked in the hotel business since he was big enough to work.
Mhm.
He started off with, probably, following dad around in the washroom, doing laundry. He's worked with carrying luggage. He has worked in this hotel every department he
Mhm.
has probably been a part of. The only part he hasn't really been a part of is the kitchen.
Mhm.
But Kenyon loved being a chef. He's worked in the hotel as well, but loved being a chef and wanted to be the head chef for one of the hotel dining rooms. So that's what hotel restaurants, I should say. With Shane walks in on his father. Um, yeah, and he was disappointed. He
Mhm.
faced a disappointment with his dad, which fractured their relationship.
Yeah.
This was the man that he looked up to. This was
Mhm.
the man that he adored. They have a very close family unit, and Shane is also protective of his mom. Well, his dad was caught into a compromising position by Shane, and it Shane didn't want to hurt his mom, but
Yeah.
really lost respect for his dad, and so that led Shane to making a decision to not destroy his family because he kept it to himself.
Yeah.
He decided to take a job somewhere else, and so he ended up working for the Alexanders in
Yeah.
Beverly Hills. So he actually goes out to California and works for the other family. But yes, Mama Tony, you're right.
Yeah.
Very, very hurt
Very
and
hurt. Mhm.
loved
Mhm.
his mother. But what I loved about that was having that opportunity that when he finally had a conversation with her, that it did not turn out the way he expected.
No.
So, but it speaks to the power of a power couple
Yeah.
because they did not involve their children. Where sometimes
Mhm.
with couples, when things happen, unfortunately, we talk around our kids and the
Mhm.
kids
Mhm.
feel forced to take sides.
Look, Jacqueline, and we gonna leave that right there because we want them to read the book. We ain't gonna tell them to. See, we giving y'all some tea, but we just giving y'all just enough tea, okay? So if you want to find out what that conversation was like, I'm gonna need you to go get his Carolina Redemption as well, guys. It's a good one. It is hot off the press. Today is release day. We are celebrating with Jacqueline Thomas, and guess what? We will be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy because I know now, I know your ears are twitching. You want to know what that conversation was that he had with his mom about what he knew. So I love that. I love that. Now, Jacqueline, again, I just really enjoyed the family dynamic. I enjoyed just this family in general and introducing them to us. But of course, we got to tell the people just a little bit about Oliver in here. And Mama Tony had some words for Oliver. She was like, she could have slapped him a few times, but,
Yeah,
but
Oliver,
what can you tell
Oliver,
us about Oliver's character?
Oliver got on my
Look,
nerves.
outside of being just messy.
Yes, he was messy. He got on my nerves from the moment that he showed up for that dinner. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna like this.
Right. Like, I knew he was up to no good though, Jackie. I knew I was side on him, okay? I was side on him.
Well, I created him, so I'd already done his profile, so I knew what his childhood was like. I knew
Mhm.
all of this, but just the way some of the dialogue was kind of like, as I'm writing, I'm like, that didn't come from me, and I'm like, Oliver, because yes,
Spill the tea on Oliver.
but it's like he starts speaking for himself, and I'm like, you know. So yes, he got on my nerves. But in the end, again, there are a lot of truths. A lot of times we think we know what's going on in our
Mhm.
families, and a
Mhm.
lot of times we really don't.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we make assumptions, and we based our emotions on those assumptions, and that's why, even though we can't invalidate people's perspectives, the perspective
Mhm.
may not always be the reality. And that was kind of
Right.
my message in that book. And that, because, in counseling, I deal with people all the time with false perceptions of their mates, of certain situations. And I always have to kind of give that gentle reminder, that's your perception, but it may not be the reality.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and try to work with reframing. And that's what I wanted to do with this book, because again, this the patriarch dies, so they're dealing with grief.
Mhm.
Shane has come back home after being away for so many years. Um, but I'm grateful too that he had that time with his dad before his dad passed.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
so it dealt with a lot of that. It dealt with, he comes back the first time he meets Ace, he has a certain perception about Ace based on his experience with his dad. But what I love about Ace is that she kind of basically set him straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, she set him straight. She was no nonsense. And I loved Ace because she was the head of security. I love women who can cross those lines and still be women.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that.
Love strong women. And so I had fun really writing Ace because she was kind of no nonsense. And while she, you know, cared about Shane, she was not going to allow him to just run over her.
Right.
She knew her business, she knew the
Mhm.
company, she had been there. So she was able to, share things with him that maybe he wouldn't have known otherwise.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. True. True. True.
So I
True.
love that they were able to become a team, you
I
know.
love that. Guys, if you're just joining us, Jacqueline Thomas is spilling a little bit of tea about her new release, hot off the press, His Carolina Redemption. Guys, today is release day, so we are celebrating with her on today, as well. And Jacqueline, speaking of the characters, I love what Kimberly said too, because that's one of the things that I enjoy. She says she loved the way that you do the character profiles of your characters, and great writing. By the way, I totally agree with that as well.
Thank
And so,
you.
speaking of those
That's the
characters,
psychologist in me.
yes.
That's the psychologist in me.
I love that. Now, Jacqueline, I want to ask you this. We're gonna kind of switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna give you like several words, and when I give you those words, if you can kind of share with us or spill the tea, as much as you would like. When you hear secrets, legacy, and Southern grandeur, what do you think about when it comes to His Carolina Redemption? Again, that's secrets, legacy, Southern grandeur.
I think of the hotel. I do.
Mm.
I think of the hotel. Um, readers will find that there's actually, like, there was a gallery
Mhm.
with historical artifacts from beginning, because even then, when the great grandfather decided to open a hotel on the island, it was like he foresaw what it could be, and each generation improved on it and added to it, because
I love that. Wow.
as a
Wow.
house. It started off as a rooming house, kind
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
and then each generation added to it and made it better.
Wow, I love that. I love that. And Jackie, that leads me to the next question. When you think about Shane and the responsibility of the legacy that was laid upon his shoulders, and also if you can kind of tie that with, I guess, the word like reinvention, like what comes to mind? Because he had a lot to think about. He had to think about the legacy of his family, he had to think about protecting the family, all of these things, but also wanting to, like, if he reinvented. Tell us a little bit about what comes to mind when you think of that word as it pertains to Shane and the legacy and just the whole book in general.
Well, for me, it was a huge responsibility
Mhm.
because, again, as you know, and you see this from when you open the story, that the hotel is in what we may consider dire straits, and so um, the father, the patriarch Angus, that was one of the reasons he reached out to his son because he didn't want to worry the rest of the family, so he placed this responsibility on Shane. So even though they had had a extreme a distant relationship, that was still family, that was still legacy. So Shane immediately picked up that mantle,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
and which I think is absolutely wonderful. He didn't go, well, that's your problem, whatever. you know
Right.
he was immediately, I'll do what I can to help.
Mhm.
So he it was a huge responsibility because he wanted to honor his father, he wanted to honor his family, he wanted to honor his great grandparents, he wanted, it was just a huge burden, I would
Mhm.
say. I mean, because I can't imagine being in that position. And, sometimes you may think the first thing to do is, well, sell it off and
Mhm.
have enough money to live off of, you
Mhm.
know. But that's not what he really wanted to do.
Mhm.
He may have contemplated for a minute, but that's not what he ever wanted to do. It would be like turning his back on what his family had worked so hard for. So it was that responsibility, of carrying this legacy forward and then having to reinvent yourself. How do you make this different? How do you make this work? What do we need? Do we need to cut here? Do we need to add this? Well, we add this, that's going to cost money. How is that going to work? Anybody in a business, what that feels like.
Mhm. Mhm.
So basically, yeah, he had to find a way to reinvent the hotel.
Yeah, yeah. I love it, guys. Let me tell you, if you just joining us, Jacqueline is spilling some tea. She is spilling some tea. She's spilling so much tea that I know that you guys are on the edge of your seat and you are ready to get you a copy of His Carolina Redemption. And of course, Jacqueline is going to share just a short snippet with us. But before she do, Jacqueline, I want to try to get some tea for the people. Are any of these characters inspired by real people?
Actually, no.
Okay,
Actually, believe it or not, they're not. Uh,
okay, okay.
probably a first time for that. But they really were so real to me that I really did not need the inspiration, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay, okay.
I don't know if that makes sense or
And
not.
and and speaking of that, Jacqueline, I want to put Kimberly's comment up. She was like, "I see a whole TV series or movie from this book." I know, Kimberly. Tell your people to contact our people, okay? Because
All
I
right.
can definitely see this as a movie or as a mini series, as well. I love that. I love that. Well, guys, Jacqueline is getting ready to share with us just a little bit from her new release, His Carolina Redemption. And Jacqueline, I will allow you to kind of set the stage for us and you can start reading when you are ready, my friend.
Okay. To me, I think it's worthy to start at the beginning
Okay.
because I think it really sets the tone for the.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just kind of start at the beginning. Um, the sharp eye of seagulls pierced the air as Shane Worthington's shoes touched the rough boards of Polk Island's old dock. As he did, 6 years' worth of absence dissipated like the morning fog. Each step was a reluctant reunion with the past, echoing through the silent whispers of what once was. The salty breeze danced around him, a familiar embrace carrying fragments of lost memories from childhood. He watched as common loons took nosedives into the ocean, then soared upward as if it were a game. As his father's death called him back to this place of beauty, with its crystal blue waters and sun kissed shores, Shane found himself standing on the precipice of his past, caught between duty and the desire to escape once again. He clenched his jaw, steeling himself up for what was to come. I'm going to skip down a little bit. I knew I'd find you here. With a small smile, Shane turned to face his mother. Madeline's vibrant brown eyes were dull with grief. Her hair, once long and flowing, was cropped into a short style that framed her face in soft curls. His gaze strayed to the silver gray strands in the front. They weren't there when his parents had visited him in Los Angeles 2 years ago. Against the backdrop of the bright May sunshine, Madeline stood out in her simple black linen dress with elbow length sleeves, an appropriate choice for the season and the occasion. Shane stepped into her welcoming arms, feeling the weight of her sorrow and his own guilt. "I'm so sorry, Mom," he murmured, his voice thick with emotion. "I should have come sooner." But he couldn't bear to see his father's life slipping away before his eyes. So instead of returning while his dad was sick, he stayed away until the funeral, which brought him home now. Madeline held him tightly, her hand gently smoothing his back to comfort him. "You're here now, son. That's what matters." He nodded, but regret washed over him once again. He knew deep down that he should have come back home sooner, but the memory of catching his father with another woman still caused him pain and feelings of betrayal.
Y'all, she's gonna leave you on a cliffhanger. I love it. Jacqueline, thank you so much for that great little short snippet, enough to wet their whistles. Guys, you just heard his Carolina Redemption. It is hot off the press. Today is release day. We will be sharing with you in just a moment how you can get your hands on a copy of this story. And let me just tell you, you're gonna want to get your hands on a copy. Not only that, book clubs, it is great conversation in here, great book discussion stuff in here as well. This is a tell a friend to tell a friend read. You can read it on your own or grab a book buddy as well. So, Jacqueline, thank you for sharing that with us. And of course, guys, Jacqueline has an amazing giveaway. I know what the giveaway is going to be. I'm going to let her share the giveaway with you guys. And of course, guys, you know how to participate. You just have to comment in the comment section, and one person will be the winner of this amazing giveaway. I'm ready to spill the tea, but I'm going to let Jacqueline share what the giveaway on today is going to be.
Okay, well, the giveaway today is going to be, we're going to take you all the way back to the beginning of Polk Island. So, the lucky winner will get autographed copies of the first four releases of the Polk Island series.
Okay, did y'all hear that? The winner of today will get four books, the first four books in the series. And not only that, guys, they will be autographed as well. So, can you say an autographed copy, an autograph set, okay, of the Polk Island series, the first books in the series? I love that. So, Jacqueline, look, you have the honors, my friend. You're going to tell me when to stop, and then that person will be the winner. Okay, let's see. I am ready when you are. Okay.
Okay, stop.
Okay. Myra Cook, you are the winner, my friend. Oh my goodness. You get the first four books autograph copies of the Polk Island series. And guys, you are in for a treat. Guys, if you was not a winner, you can go to Jacqueline's website. You can go to Riches in Reading. You can go to Amazon. You can go to where books are sold. And you can get your copy of the first four books in the series as well, the Polk Island series. And of course, guys, it's available where books are sold in ebook and print. So whatever suits your fancy, tell a friend to tell a friend. And not only that, guys, once you read it, once you read any of Jacqueline's books, but once you read her new release, His Carolina Redemption, definitely leave a review. I know that Jacqueline will be so appreciative of you leaving a review. And not only that, guys, tell a friend to tell a friend, because sharing is caring, okay? And we love that here at the cafe as well. Jacqueline, thank you so much for hanging out with us today, my friend. The time went by so fast. And I want to ask you this, Jennifer. She wanted to know, and I'm sure other people want to know as well. Is there more coming from Polk Island? That's her
Oh,
question. Is there more coming from Polk Island?
there definitely is. Um, in the end of this year for Christmas, we have Fiance Under the Mistletoe, which will be another Worthington. It would be Aiden Worthington. That would be his
Ooh,
story. We have
Look,
a
Jacqueline, not only did you spill the tea that there will be another book, but you told us which sibling or which person will be their story as well. So I love that. So guys, stay tuned. You can
oh, and
pre-order if you're
have
ready.
one in June, next June, will be London
Yes,
story. So as you know, what you'll see in this book, it will also follow through, but London's story will be in next June. So yes, so you
I
have
love that.
two more Worthingtons so far. Yes.
I love that. I love that. Well, Jacqueline, thank you for spilling the tea. Thank you for celebrating your release day with us. And so we want to ask you this before we let you go. What did Jacqueline enjoy about writing His Carolina Redemption and bringing the Worthingtons to life?
I enjoyed everything about it. I enjoyed the mystery elements. I enjoyed the being able to help this family process their grief. I enjoyed that as well. Um, they were just kind of the family that, that you've always kind of dreamed of, you know. They were just such a good family that were supportive of one another, and I love that. I love families that support one another, and so all my families tend to do that, as you know. But it was just really special. It's always very special when you can create that over and over again, where you have these nuclear families who just really truly, they're not jealous of each other. They may not always agree, but they find a way to still be family. And that's really the message that I want people to carry with them, is to just love each other, because, you never know.
I love that. I love that. Well, Jacqueline, we are so proud of you. We're so excited to have the Worthingtons, for us to have more family members of Polk Island that we can read about as well, guys. And of course, Jacqueline is going to share with us how you guys can get your hands on a copy of this amazing story, His Carolina Redemption. And of course, you guys know that one of our sponsor bookstores, Riches in Reading, they have copies as well. I'll be putting the link in the comment section if you want to order directly from Riches in Reading a copy of His Carolina Redemption. And Jacqueline, where else can they get a copy of His Carolina Redemption?
Pretty much anywhere where books are sold, the Harlequin books are sold. But I really want to encourage you to support Black booksellers. As you
Mhm.
know, we always want to encourage our Black booksellers. Riches and Reading has always been very supportive of me. So if you guys would kind of just do me a favor and
Mhm.
reach out and support, I would really appreciate that. And I would have to get, if you want autograph copies, I'll have to make sure she has the stickers and things so that we can send you autograph copies as well.
I love that. I love that, guys. You heard it here, and we will definitely be putting the link in the comment section where you can order a copy from Riches in Reading as well. Jacqueline, oh my goodness, my friend, the time goes by so fast. Please share with us, how can we stay connected with you?
I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Um, I'm on Substack. I'm
Okay.
still trying to learn. I'm at a learning curve with that one.
Okay.
But I'm even on TikTok. I'm
Yep.
trying.
She does a little TikTok from time to time, guys.
But lately, again, my apologies, you all, but I've been preparing for my board, so that comes first. So yeah, I've been studying. So please bear with me, but I will try to get out there and get some updates for you all.
I love that. I love that. And guys, also Jacqueline has her reader group that's called the Champagne Lounge. It's on Facebook. You can sign up for that. There's like a simple question, answer the question or what have you for that. So you can stay connected with her through that as well. But guys, let me just tell you, be sure to tell a friend about His Carolina Redemption. Leave a review, get you a copy, enjoy this book. It's a great summer read as well. Put it in your beach bag and enjoy. Grab you a glass of tea or lemonade or whatever your beverage of choice, because you may decide something else, and enjoy this great story as well. And Jacqueline, of course, my friend, we want to allow you to have the last words of what you want to say to the people on your release day.
Well, I can't go without saying thank you all for supporting me. I just appreciate everybody, to be in this business almost 30 years and people still reading me and being excited about the books. Um, I'm rich and I'm thankful. So thank you all.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Jacqueline, for continually to bring us a great stories that we fall in love with, great characters that we fall in love with, great families that we fall in love with as well. We definitely love you here at the cafe. And again, thank you for hanging out with us, guys. Here's Carolina Redemption. It's available now, ebook. It's available in print. Again, we will put it in the comment section as well. Thank you, Jacqueline, for hanging out with us, guys. Make sure that you follow her as well. That's our show on today, guys. And as we always say, have an amazing day because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you later. Make sure you get a copy of Here's Carolina Redemption. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.